Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. This is Arun Gala. My podcast is called Grabbing Coffee with Arun, where I talk to everyday people that are doing interesting things. Today, my guest is Michaela Cuto. I'm sure I pronounced it wrong, Michaela. She's a director of Achilles here in Houston. Just to kind of start off with, she's going to tell me more about what Achilles does. Um, Michaela, welcome. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me more about what Achilles is and what you guys do? Or
Of course. Thanks for having me, Arun. Um, Achilles International is a global nonprofit that serves anybody living with a disability by integrating them into endurance sports, whether that's walking, running, swimming, biking. We do it all. So I'm the director of the Houston chapter. And for us, we have workouts 3 times a week. We meet Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, where we basically meet the athlete where they are. If they want to go for a walk or a run, we pair them with a able-bodied guide, whether the athlete has some sort of visual impairment or any kind of disability where they could benefit from having a support walker runner with them, to also providing adaptive equipment for anybody who maybe would benefit from getting in an adaptive bike, like a hand cycle. So we pull hand cycles for our athletes. They're basically like an arm crank bike. So instead of it being a foot pedal, it
Mhm.
is an arm pedal that we provide for athletes, and basically just pull the equipment, provide the volunteers, and just, meet everybody where they are 3 times a week.
That's pretty cool. I know Achilles is all over the world, right? It's in different countries and
Yes, we have 62 chapters in 18 countries.
wow. How many are there in the US? Do you have any idea? Or
You know what?
does
I
uh,
really feel like I should know this answer.
no, no, that's fine. I mean, because I know there's yeah, I'm sure it's pretty big. So,
I do know, actually, fun fact, we were headquartered in New York City, but we
right.
actually have more chapters international than we do domestic.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like the name Achilles, you know. I wonder, I know I read a little bit about how it got started and stuff like that. But anyway, so what are your challenges that you see like coordinating all this stuff in Houston?
Ooh, the traffic.
The traffic
I
and
think, yeah, I think when we meet on Saturdays, we meet in the morning. So there's no traffic coming into the city, but there definitely is a bit of a restraint for Tuesdays and Thursday nights because we do meet in the evenings, and the Houston traffic is extra fun. Um,
I mean, getting
before,
volunteers could be a challenge too, I guess, right? Or
um, yeah, I guess it just depends. I think it also depends on what season we're in. I think the fall and the winter is whenever we do like our like training for races that we have.
mhm.
So it is a bit easier to find volunteers, especially students, because they're in school, so they're around. And the summer is a little bit quieter, but we still have a couple friends around.
Right, right. Um, I know. Have you guys done skydiving? Is that through Achilles too? I can't remember.
Um, We do social events in the summer. So we have our race season that runs from September to April. So basically, for those is any of our athletes who want a bit of a more competitive edge, we do participate in 8 races in Houston throughout the year. When
Hmm.
our race season ends in May to August, we have like fun social events. We have done skydiving in the past. That was before my time. So I
Right,
can't speak on that. I can only speak on the events that I have done.
right.
Um, but we did do that before.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if anybody can convince me to jump off of a plane. I don't think it's for me. But, um, so what about you, Michaela? How did you get involved with Achilles?
That is a great question. The short answer is I've been in the adaptive sports space since 2018. The longer answer is I was a student at the University of Houston,
Hmm.
and I needed 1 credit hour to graduate. So in passing was like, "Oh, have you ever heard of the class Adaptive Athletics?" And I was like, "I have no idea what that is." And
Hmm.
I saw that it was an elective course. It would fill my graduation requirement. So I was like, sure, why not? But it is a course that the University of Houston offers where basically there is a lecture portion where the professor, Dr. Cottingham, talks about just disabilities in general, like what it's like living with one, and then also disability in sport. So our lecture component went over that, and then each week we were required to attend an adaptive sport practice.
Hmm.
So we were able to go over to West Grade Multi-Service Center and participate in their wheelchair basketball, rugby that they had going on there. And then the University of Houston also has a wheelchair tennis team. So as a student, we had to attend lecture and also choose an adaptive sport practice. I
Hmm.
ended up loving it, and I went to all of them. I
What
only
was the
had to go
name?
to
What
one.
was the name of that class again? Because I don't think the recording caught that.
Oh, it's adaptive athletics.
Oh, okay. That's over to U of H, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
But
okay.
I ended up absolutely loving it. My senior year, I was set to apply for physical therapy school that summer,
Hmm.
and I ended up loving that class so much that I told my professor, I was like, "Hey, if a job ever pops up in, the adaptive sports space, like, please let me know." And I ended up graduating in May and didn't hear anything from him. So I was like, okay, like I'll just go ahead and apply. So the cycle opened for physical therapy school that July, and I applied to some schools. And I ended up getting into PT school. But he reached out to me in August. Luckily, I hadn't made a decision on if I wanted to go to school or not yet. And he let me know that this job was posted. He was like, "Hey, there's a group that meets in the city called Achilles." I don't
Hmm.
have any experience in running, no background in running whatsoever. So I
Right.
actually didn't know anything about Achilles really before I got on. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I was primarily very involved with like the wheelchair sports scene,
Hmm.
but we still do have that with like the hand cycle bikes that we pull for our athletes. But yeah, I started in September of 2022, and actually this September marks 3 years.
Wow. But Michaela, it seems like it takes a lot to organize a practice, right? I mean, to get the people and to get the athletes together, it seems like requires a lot of your time.
Um, I'll say yes and no. I'll say when I first got started, I didn't really have like any flow. And I think now doing this for 3 years, I have like, like a list of
Okay.
people that I call.
Hmm.
And I have like my little spreadsheet to make sure, I have all the guide pairings and all the fun stuff. So I definitely say like since I started to now, I have way better organization skills.
So how do you like, let's say my neighbor or somebody that I know wants to come out and be a volunteer. Um, I'm sure there's like a training period, right? You show somebody what to do, and um, you basically tell them you're the athlete's eyes and stuff like that, right?
Yep. So for new volunteers that come out, we do a training session where they only exclusively work with me. I won't tell you the activity that we do because I like
Right.
it to be a surprise.
Right.
But I do take them through a training together at their first workout. The next workout they come out, I then pair them with an athlete and an experienced guide. So they'll shadow somebody in their athlete. And then
Mhm.
the third time they come out, they're able to guide solo. So I do take a lot of pride in making sure that all of our volunteers are very well trained.
Yeah, because a lot of times, when the athlete asks me like, "Well, how much can you see?" and stuff like that, sometimes it's kind of hard to explain, because my vision kind of changes depending on my stress level or the way I feel that morning. So that question is kind of hard to really um, explain, Like they'll say something like, "Can you see this?" or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, Achilles is a wonderful program for anybody that's interested in. There's a lot of blind people, Michaela, they just stay at home, If they want to just come and just walk with somebody in the park, you know, um, I can tell you myself that I'm part of Achilles, and it's good for people to just get out, and it's actually very mentally it's good for you just to get out and just walk around even. just for a couple hours. If you can do that once a week, I think it'll be great. So
I agree.
I'm trying to see what else. What about like amputees? You guys help out amputees too, right? Or
I would say we have a good chunk of everybody. I would say we predominantly have visually impaired athletes, but we do have a good mix of everybody. Also, like all activity levels too. Just to touch on what you said about getting outside, I think what's special about us is I whatever the athlete wants to do. That's a question that I get from a lot of volunteers is like, oh, like how far are we running? How many miles? What's the pace? And I'm like, hey, honestly, whatever your athlete wants to do. I have some athletes that they come out and they just want to walk 30 minutes and then they go home. And then I have people that are training for races.
Mhm.
So I tell everybody we're free friends in the park because we really are. Our membership is free. To join is free. Um, and if anybody ever wants to do a race, the organization also picks up the cost. So I tell everybody we're free friends in the park. There's no excuse to not come out and hang out with us.
So when you pair people up for a race, I'm sure that athlete trains with that guide for quite a long time, right? Or is it?
Yes, so for me, I really like when I'm like at the workout and I'm about to like give my announcements and I just like pause and like look at the group and I see people talking. I just love it. I love like the family like aspect that we have, and for that reason, like I try to switch everybody up often. Of course, if somebody's doing a race together, I do try to keep them with that guide for at least like 2 months. But if we're not like in an active race season, then I do like to switch around the guides just so that everybody could get to know each other, because I do like that, you know, everybody knows each other.
Right, right. I'm trying to see, was there anything else that we missed? And well, if somebody wants to be a volunteer or they want to participate as an athlete, how do they go about getting in touch with you?
They can go to our website, Achilles International. Let me make sure, actually, let me check. I think my email is also on there. I should definitely have already known this, Arun.
Yeah, it's
Let's
okay.
see. I'm pretty sure the website would be good. So if they just search up Achilles International, they could also, if they have social media, we're Achilles Houston on Instagram, and I'm always around to answer any messages. Yep. Okay. So I just looked at the website. My email is on there. Email is good. The website is good. There is a join button on the website, but of course, if anybody has any questions, my email is listed there as well.
Okay. All right, Michaela. Thank you very much for the information. And if you guys want to reach me, my email is grabbingcoffeewitharun, ARUN at gmail.com. Thanks again, Michaela, for your time.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
All right.
Bye bye.